We're showing off the very best games from the last year of PlayStation's Dreams on PS4 and PS5. As always, our list is in no particular order, so make sure to watch until the end and let us know your favourites in the comments below. Pig Detective and the Beast of Boffington is the newest entry in one of Dream's most beloved franchises, and it has been a long time coming. All that development time has been worth the wait because the talented Team Pig Detective have produced a 6-hour, extremely polished, highly entertaining point-and-click-like game which sees you uncovering a mystery that has a little bit of everything. Beasts, ghosts, and somehow, inexplicably, even Greg Miller himself. Feeding Ducks 2 is not what it first appears. Beneath the surface of this Minecraft-styled resource collector, where you mine crystals in order to keep your pet duck fed, is a sinister undertone of cerebral, Lovecraftian-like horror that is just whacking to be explored. Hookshot is a first-person Portal-inspired game where you use a grappling hook to navigate an abandoned testing facility and solve its many courses. The main game is much refined from the demo the creator released some time ago, with better pacing teaching you the mechanics, and a hint system for all the other dum-dums like me. Protoland is an old-school first-person shooter inspired by the likes of Doom. This one is less about quick, twitchy reactions, and more about playing smart, having the right weapon for the right circumstances, and mastering the game's pace and mechanics like this nifty time-freezing ability. Production values are off the charts with this one. This is a very professional feeling game with 5 different stages to complete. The full version of Protoland will probably take you several hours to see everything the game has to offer. Spiders Have 4 Legs is one of Dream's most stunning games. You navigate a brightly coloured yet gothic world with a simply gorgeous art style that almost looks hand-painted. You play as a creepy crawly, or to use its proper name, a spider, and the gameplay is largely focused on controlling its individual creepy legs in order to navigate its extraordinary and beautiful world. Anthology of Nightmares is a collection of mind-melting scary games and animations from some of Dream's finest horror makers. The hub of the anthology is a haunted hotel you'll need to explore to collect all the different experiences in the form of freaky floppy disks and cursed VHS tapes. It took me just over 2 hours to see everything the anthology had to offer, and I've not had an easy night's sleep since I finished. KILLFECTION is one of Dream's most impressive and complete first-person shooting games, featuring a meaty, fully voice-acted campaign, which is just the tip of the content on offer. You also have a number of smartly designed challenge levels, like this cat and mouse game as you parkour your way towards a one-hit kill spitting zombie, and if that's still not enough for you, there's also a classic wave survival mode. Gemini Rising is an epic space adventure, another massive full game to add to Dream's ever-growing roster, complete with an epic score that gives me Mass Effect tingles. This one has challenging gameplay which mixes combat, platforming and exploration as you upgrade your suit to unlock new powers. Triangle is Sentient Chapter 2 is a follow-up to a Dreams classic, an enigmatic puzzle game that stirs certain feelings not felt since PlayStation's darling Journey. Triangle is sentient, commits less time concerning itself, conceiving frustrating head-scratchers, and more time on spinning an interesting narrative with its environmental storytelling in a mature fashion not often seen in Dreams. Coming in around an hour, this one has got a decent length to it, so put aside some time to enjoy it. Neon Blaster 2 is a massive arcade shooter that builds on the strengths of its predecessor. Things do start slow as the game takes its time explaining the different mechanics and gameplay loop, but as soon as you've earned enough XP to start upgrading your fire rate and movement speed, things really pick up. There are over a dozen tightly designed levels to blast your way through, each with a ruthless boss to slay at the end. It's been absolutely ages, but we finally found a reason to dust off our old PSVR headset. Machine Head VR is a stunning first-person shooter that makes great use of its VR presentation. The flat video you're watching doesn't do it justice, but let me tell you, it sure is something seeing the destructible environments exploding to pieces in a 3D space and these dogged robots crawling towards you at an alarming pace, which is truly terrifying. If you don't own the original PSVR headset, good news, the creator is currently working on a flat version of the game, which is looking better than ever. A Cat in the Box is a collection of 12 different cat-themed platforming and puzzle levels. As this dream is a collaboration between many different creators, each level stands out with its own personality and gimmicks, such as having to be careful how much noise you make in fear of waking a disgruntled dog, or a musical playground where every step seems to add to a catchy beat. Welcome to Lake Juniper. This town has seen better days, usually the home to a rumoured Loch Ness-like monster. By the time you arrive, hoping to capture the cryptid on film, the military has taken over, the town has been abandoned, and all manner of strange happenings have begun. Lake Juniper has a fantastic surreal atmosphere, which makes exploring it a creepy treat. Adventures of a Toy 2 is an incredible tribute to Disney Pixar's Toy Story 2 in a fully voice-acted, 8-level strong game that even features yours truly as the one and only prospector, Stinky Pete. The gameplay constantly keeps things fresh with different mechanics, and the creator has even made a fancy copy of the PlayStation trophy menu to add replayability. Street Saints Island of Vice is a miniature open world, a throwback to old school Grand Theft Auto games like San Andreas and Vice City. Street Saints does a fantastic job of recreating the retro atmosphere and animations. It provides not only a fully functioning sandbox with police, pedestrians, and enemy AI, but also a series of story missions with a chaotic final battle. Of course, this game barely scratches the surface of its creator Freako-rama's impressive output this year, having released dozens of fan games inspired by The Last of Us, Uncharted, and many more beloved franchises. F-14B Tomcat Simulation is an incredibly detailed flight sim where you take the controls of this powerful beast of a machine. The creator has put a ton of research into getting this thing realistic, and there are a lot of instructions to pour through if you want to do things properly. Equally fun is seeing what would happen if you put me, an untrained idiot, in the seat of one of these things. The Daily Observer seems like it was designed for people smarter than me. You play in first person, performing seemingly menial tasks around a space station in the form of mini-games, although what you're actually doing isn't overly clear. In fact, there's a much larger mystery to everything, and the Daily Observer invites you to come back daily to slowly pick away at it. Mulgarth is an old-school God of War style hack and slasher dripping with style, and for my money probably one of the most impressive combat rigs in all of Dreams. Mulgarth features multiple weapons, but my favourite by far is this hammer, which has a fantastic feeling of weight behind it, allowing you to bully your foes around the field. The Enfield Poltergeist is a horror game set in London, 1977, based on the real-life reported hauntings that were picked up by the British press, for lack of a better word. You play as a paranormal researcher investigating the abandoned horror house, solving puzzles, exploring its darkened hallways, and just generally trying not to poop your pants in this atmospheric spooker. Dreamscape Outer World is the final ever Dreamscape game. If you've not yet had the pleasure, Pierogigon is the star of this Spyro the Dragon inspired platformer series, where you jump between dimensions to traverse the stages. Dreamscape has always had an emphasis on its epic story, and this last installment is more cinematic than ever, featuring a colourful cast of dragons and drakes, and even some new gameplay additions. Vecta Majoris 2 is another one of those I can't believe this massive game is just one piece of Dreams' ever-expanding puzzle moments. Take to the skies in this sci-fi dogfighting game where you'll dodge asteroids, combat enemy ships, and upgrade your arsenal as you explore space in this surprisingly meaty game. Hell's Children is another shooter from the always weird and wonderful Wargable, who as usual makes the most of Dreams' advantages to create a very satisfying gore system, not to mention disturbing enemies that will come at you with everything they have. Utter glorious chaos, make sure to check this one out. Trensition is a remarkable piece of work, a pretty sizable community-made expansion to Media Molecule's newest game Tren, using the 500 assets Media Molecule included in the creation pack that came with the game, along with some new handcrafted additions. This is basically a DLC pack for Tren, with some clever twists to the mechanics, and creator Elka Gaming has also included a perfect replica of an old test level Media Molecule teased many moons ago. Phoenix Cult is a roguelike dungeon crawler with the interesting gimmick of using motion controls to aim your darker cult powers. The most impressive part of Phoenix Cult is just how many enemies and projectiles the creator manages to squeeze onto the screen at any one time, leading to some hectic battles and jazzy boss fights. Turbo Drift Stage 2 Twilight Harbor is another high-speed racing game where you earn more points the greater the risks you take, whizzing through traffic and drifting past tight corners as you speed across a gorgeous map. Darktown Chapter 1 Red Zone is a retro-inspired RPG with a very fancy turn-based battle system that might remind you of old-school Final Fantasy games. Once you've finished the 40-minute story and beat the boss, you're invited to plunge even deeper into the deadly Red Zone to face tougher enemies and climb the online scoreboard. Golden Kingdom sure is a looker. This one is a walking sim that aims to regularly have your jaw dropping to the floor each and every minute as you wonder to yourself, how on earth was this made in Dreams? Dive into the winding caves hidden in the deep mountain wilderness and see if you too can discover the majesty that is the Golden Kingdom in this graphical exploration powerhouse of a game. Rusty Recharged is a 2-hour puzzle game where you control this lovable lump of nuts and bolts who, despite his namesake, has never before been so polished. While having to think about things does often give me headaches, I'm a big fan of the environmental storytelling and intriguing narrative about a science experiment gone wrong that keeps me wanting to play on, even when my brain is screaming, "No, stop, it hurts! Let's go watch wrestling, please!" This is as good a place as any to get it on record that I friggin' love Brick Breaker. Always have and always will. At my funeral, I want little Brick Breaker stations for people to enjoy in between the bouts of terrible grief. Slime Breaker, as you can see, is a really, really, really good Brick Breaker game. That is all. Interstellar Gauntlet is an 8-bit pixel art game where you'll need to phase, or as I like to put it, shadowcat your way through various obstacles and enemies to make it to the end. Portals on the road control which plane you drive on, meaning lots of split-second life or death decisions. The game mechanics translate really well into the big boss fights. Just be warned, this is a tough game, but thankfully has generous checkpoints that will keep you on track. This Place is Cursed is a devilish puzzle game that is filled to the brim with secrets aplenty. You'll need to carefully peruse your way through a spooky house, filling a spell book which unlocks new abilities you'll need to use to plunge deeper into the house. I found this one to be quite tricky, so make sure you turn up with your eyes open and your brain switched on. For those that do, this one has been getting some absolutely glowing feedback. Gunmetal Black Overture takes the hyper-realistic gun handling crafted by creator Carsten Stack and puts it to good use in this strategic shooter. You'll creep around detailed environments, darting in and out of cover, trying to find the best angles as you combat a company of killer turrets. Having to load each bullet by hand and carefully handle your chamber adds a different element of tension and makes this one feel truly unique. Starfighter Gemini 2 Paradox is the sequel to one of Dreams' finest games, and this newest entry manages to turn things up to the next level with some astounding side-scrolling sci-fi shooting bullet hell action. Try saying that 5 times fast. If, like me, you're not the best at dodging lasers like a hyperactive Twister player, you'll be glad to know there is a more forgiving easy mode to go along with the 5 different stages and some epic boss fights. One not to miss, kids. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video and still want more of the very best games Dreams has to offer, go check out our Best Dreams of 2022 video on screen now. These videos are the grand results of many hundreds of hours spent playing, curating and editing in Dreams this year. If you'd like to support the channel, please check out our Patreon page or buy some merch. We would really like some more money. Please. If, like me, you're a poor boy, don't worry too much, just make sure you like this video, share it with your one friend, and remember to leave some delicious engagement in the form of some real human chatter in the comments below.